We are beginning our digital mosaic, and this first assignment will be just for practicing the tools. So I've got the image in there for you. The first thing I want you to do is to change the color of the background by right-clicking on it and choosing a color, which it says right there in the steps. Then you will go to the tool, the line tool, click on Polyline. And you will start to make your shapes. I like to zoom in, so look at the cheat sheet to figure out how to zoom in, and then start anywhere by making your shapes. Sometimes I like to click along the contours, and to change the shape or the color, it just needs to be selected, and you can change the greens, click on custom, and you can go to different values or shades of that color. Now we don't want that black line, so we're going to click the pencil to make the border transparent. And then click the tool again to continue making more leaves. If you mess up, you simply need to select the shape and delete it. And to select it, you'll click the arrow and then click on the shape. If you need to adjust or move the edges, you can also double click on that shape using the arrow. So I'll speed up some parts and slow down again when I need you to see something else. So I'll just speed it up. You'll also see me changing the color of the leaves. So with it sped up, you're just going to see me add multiple shapes. Again, it's sped up, so I don't expect you to work that fast. You can even do bigger shapes. I just have a habit of doing smaller ones, but you can do bigger ones. This one is just practice. Okay, I am slowing it down here so you can see if you double click on your image. So I have the arrow tool selected, and I will double click on it. And then I see the purple dots. Those are everywhere that I clicked. So I can move those around and change my shape and edit it if necessary. If I accidentally overlapped it, I can change the shape anywhere where those points are. I can drag it. So the purple points are the clicks that you made. The blue points can just change the overall shape. And again, you see me here playing around with different values of green in the leaf to try to mimic how the leaf isn't all just one flat color. It's multiple shades of green. All right, so just finishing those up, filling it up, zooming in sometimes to double click and move some of those little points, the purple points around to make it fit better. I don't want too much negative space in the middle. I want kind of Goldilocks it. I want just enough. So finishing up my leaf, filling in with these polyline shapes, doing my branch, or the stem I should say. Now as I continue on to do the apple, I've done the stem of the leaf and the stem of the apple, some different shades of a green and a brown for the stem. And now I'm going to try to play around with different values of pink or red for my apple. So for that reflection spot where the light is bouncing off of it, I'm going to trace that roughly with my polyline tool and make sure it's a sort of pinkish whitish color for that reflection. And then as I go and do the apple, I'm going to change the shades of red to try to match it. It doesn't have to be exact, but try to match it. There's even a little bit of yellow in there that I'm going to try to incorporate. And my shapes, they could be triangular, they could be just completely wonky polygons, they could be rectangles. It really doesn't matter. You can make them small, you can make them big. If you need to get into tighter spaces, you just zoom in further to your image. If you make a shape that you don't want, double click it with the arrow tool to delete it. Great. So again, just tracing the shapes. I'll speed it up to finish it off, but putting in the different values, the different lightness and darkness of a color in my apple, getting those reflections in the darker spots. So you're going to see me zooming in and zooming out. So you do need to become familiar with those tools. So that's why we're doing this. And Ultimately, not a big deal if you don't finish this because it's just practice. I want you to get comfortable enough with those tools that so that for next class you will be ready to start your own. This is just so you can get comfortable. So definitely feel free to make your shapes bigger than my tinier tiles, and get comfortable with zooming in, zooming out, making your tesserae, changing the colors, changing the color of the border. So you're really going to get comfortable with the arrow tool, the polyline tool, and the paint bucket and the pencil. Those are really the main ones that we are going to be using. And on your Google drawing sheet, the cheat sheet is linked, as you can see there. So you'll be able to follow that link to it to go peek on the cheat sheet if you forget what the shortcuts are, how to do something with the tool. So just finishing it up and filling up this space. Sometimes it wants to go back to that original blue color. No worries, just go in and fix it. And when you get to those tiny spots that you end with, you might need to make it bigger and zoom in. Once you have finished your last piece, the last step is to delete your image. So you click on the image, so that white space, I like to just move it away and make sure it's good, and then I delete it. All done. Apple looks great.